Mike, he's in Raleigh listening to Talk Radio 850. Mike, you're on the air on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an opinion and a comment.
Great.
I've been listening to your program now for about 20 minutes, and I just want to tell you how disappointed I am in the content and context of your show. I think you would do yourselves both well to have someone who's close to you to monitor your show and give you an honest opinion of how they think you conduct yourselves on this show.
Can you be more specific? What is it that is so offensive to you?
Well, I don't think, first of all, that you're into the content of a lot of the topics that you're discussing well enough to properly and respectfully discuss them. And I think your antics back and forth between you and the other person.
There's three people here. There's three people here. But can you give me a more specific example? Like, what issue do you feel like we're not, knowledgeable enough about, or what you're saying there? Go ahead.
Well, I think what you need to do is have someone that is close to each of you, all three of you, listen to this program and critique the way you speak, the way you conduct the interviews, and the way you highlight.
It's just this show, or is it every episode?
Well, I've only listened to your show I've actually heard parts of your show once or twice previously and was not impressed either time that I listened to your show.
Well,
your topics.
The difficulty I have here, like we have consultants that listen to the show and give us critique, and the difficulty is that oftentimes when people disagree with us, it's a lot easier for them to say, since we're younger than most talk show hosts, it's easier for them to say, you're Bush League, you'll never amount to anything, you guys should give this up. But we've been doing it for 12 years, and we're on 100.
He's not saying anything. Oh, he's really not saying. You haven't given a specific critique yet, Mike.
He says that we're not good enough.
All you've said was you want someone to sit in the. Well, by the way, there is someone sitting in the studio listening to us, but you want someone who's close to us to tell us what's wrong, but you won't tell us what you're finding so wrong about the show. Can you put it into words?
Well, I'm trying to, but it's difficult for me to say it because I don't want to be too awfully rude.
Oh, don't worry. We can handle rude people. It's no problem. I won't be offended.
First of all, I know that it's all about entertainment. You're not really interested in discussing, I don't think, the real value and content and purpose of any real issues. I think you're just interested in bantering.
So you don't think free speech is a real issue? You don't think property rights is a real issue?
Well, I don't think the way you're handling it and treating it as a bona fide topic is respectful.
Which topic are you referring to?
It's not respectful.
Hold on. Which topic are you referring to? We've talked about several so far in the show tonight.
Well, hold on first a minute. We're on my time now, and I'm not going to argue with you.
This isn't an argument. I'm asking you a question. I'm trying to understand what it is you're telling me. If you're trying to give me feedback, I need to understand the words coming out of your mouth. You mentioned some sort of topic that you felt like we weren't into. Which of the topics we've discussed have you felt that was true, or do you just think it's everything that has come out of our mouths?
Well, almost everything, but I would say in particular the comments about the statue. And I hope that listener, that caller still listening, who made that unbelievably rude and crude comment and joke about the statue. And first of all, for you not to have responded in some professional, responsive, and respectful way to have diminished his comment, I found that.
It sounds like you really just don't like people disagreeing with your religion, is what it sounds like.
Well, let me say this, and then I'm going to go.
Yes, sir.
Each of you, all three of you, if your show is taped, do you ever go home and listen to the way you interact back and forth?
Yes.
And to me, you
Sure.
do. And, well, I guess if you've been doing it for 12 years and you're paid to do this, somebody must find it acceptable.
Believe it or not, people like different things in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and
so
conflict,
some people...
conflict is the lifeblood of radio.
Well, let me say this, and then I'll let you go so you can have some other callers call in. I think you need to listen to yourselves again and see if you can improve your program.
Thanks for
This
the call,
show
Mike.
is
I
what
appreciate it, man.
would be easily described as iconoclastic. Look that word up.
Yeah. If somebody calls and tells a good joke, I'm going to laugh at it. And I don't care I don't know what it means to be respectful or whatever. I mean, a good joke's a good joke. You know?
Somebody's going to cut that clip out. Ian saying, I don't know what it means to be respectful or whatever.
Look, this isn't your typical talk radio program. I mean, this guy's probably listening to, he's there in Raleigh listening to Talk Radio 850. We're probably the newest show on that particular radio station. They just added us probably about a month ago now, maybe a month to maybe 5 weeks ago. And
in the Bible Belt,
your typical talk radio station is going to have the Rush Limbaughs and the Sean Hannitys, and I don't have their schedule in front of me right now, but I can pull it up.
Not all ideas deserve to be respected.
Yeah, but the idea of free speech is important, and you got to consider that speech that you disagree with is the kind of speech that needs to be protected.
And we're into that idea. Obviously, we're doing talk radio, so we should support free speech, right? We've been talking about freedom of speech, property rights here tonight. The last call seems to think we don't care about these issues.
Well, you know, and he has a point. There is a point that's there that I respect of his points, even if I don't respect religion. And the point is, I do get worried often. You know, last time I was on, Free Talk Live lost an affiliate due to discussion about religion. And I always get concerned because I don't respect religion in any way. I have zero respect for the willful choice to abandon one's sense of reason, which is what I feel religion is. I feel like
I have religion, and I feel like I'm fairly reasonable.
Well, and I think that at any time you have to take something on faith, that you've decided to abandon your reason.
Well, I don't know if I take it on faith. Well, I have a personal belief, and I believe I have evidence for that belief. But it's personal, so I can't quantify it scientifically for you.
Yeah, there's no scientific quantification. There's no proof. There's not even an attempt in most cases when it comes to religion.
I've definitely had spiritual experiences while on certain substances.
Certain substances, absolutely.
So
mushrooms cause religion.
The atheism on the radio and television has a long and storied career, and I used to listen to Neil Bortz, who was a libertarian talk show host, even into the aughts and a little further than that. And
that man has a high respect for the Islamic religion.
No, he has no respect at all for the Islamic religion. And the one thing that I thought that was the one thing I always thought is that he's really just sort of taking the social momentum in the United States of Christianity and giving it elevation over the momentum of the religion of Islam in the Middle East. And I think that that's ethnocentrism, in my opinion. So I think that whatever your belief of people in the sky is your belief, and that's fine, but don't expect me to I don't expect you to respect mine, and I don't expect you should not expect me to respect yours. But this is what they would do all the time to Neil Bortz in Atlanta, and he had stations all across the South too, is they would, they'd like, I agree with most of the things you're saying, Neil, but, and then I'm never going to listen to you again, right? Like then it would be that thing, and he'd be like, oh yeah, another person not listening. And the fact is that conflict is good on the radio. The conflict is good for people. People with different opinions challenge your mindset. Mm-hmm. Aren't
you kind of a hypocrite though? Because you can criticize me for taking James in Arizona's calls because you don't want to talk to him because he's a challenging caller.
No, he's abusive.
Well, it's just because he says things you don't like.
He's threatening. No,
he hasn't threatened you. He beats around the bush.
He beats around the bush on threatening. I don't need that in my life. I don't need somebody who's angry all the time and abusive and threatening.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.